Any more, because I'll change to us. Thank
Then
you.
I'll address the council.
Good evening, sir.
Jim Walsh, Mayor Street, Wilkes Barre. Have you ever heard of the man who was pounding his head against the wall? A friend saw him doing such an act and asked, "Why are you doing that?" The man replied, "Because it feels good when I stop." A similar analogy are these meetings. You see, the members seated before us are a human wall. We, the taxpayers, are like the man pounding his head against the brick wall. We come here of our own free will, uncompensated monetarily. The difference between the two factors is the man feels relief when he stops beating his head against the wall. On the other hand, we leave after pounding our complaints and seeking relief. There is none forthcoming. The pain of our frustration lingers on and stays with us long after our grievances against the council wall. The mayor and council abruptly get up and rush out of the council chambers faster than those in the Olympic 100-yard dash. Chalk up another notch in the win column for the city. Score, mayor and council 100, citizens 0. The unbeaten streak continues. It's up to us, we the people, to stop the streak by insisting on accountability. Members of council, in particular, ladies and gentlemen, I respectfully ask your undivided attention to what I'm about to say. Why? Because it affects all of us. Like myself, many of you have attended many council meetings, and I feel certain experience a sense of frustration at the attitude and little action coming from work from this body. Chairman Barrett appears to be more intent on imposing restrictions as opposed to openly answering our grievances. Why? This tactic reduces debate, avoiding answers they can be held accountable for, and shorten the time frame of the meeting. Their time is important to them, but not our time. The mayor and chairman deny the council members are not under a gag order. I say baloney. Rarely do any of them respond to questions regarding issues presented by us, the citizens. And if they do, it's brief and vague. But I try to be as non-committal as possible. This lessens the act of accountability. Well, they will deny this fact, but the evidence at every meeting shows their inaction to be true. To prove my point, try asking a particular council member a question or questions and see if you receive an answer as opposed to the chairman restricting response. You will see the regular newspaper announcement of each forthcoming Wilkes-Barre City Council meeting. The correct announcement should be Wilkes-Barre City will hold its mandatory charade meeting on Thursday evening. Wow. Just think, receiving $350 a week for undocumented 32 hours of work. Are their hours of work in the private sector the same under accountability as their city job? Ask them and see and hear if any of them answer. Or if you ask them to answer to issues and questions related to city problems, they will tell you they can be called at home or work. Notice, not City Hall. Why? Because they're not there, except for meetings or maybe pick up some mail. Playing phone tag works to their advantage. Let's now look at this side of the picture. If they say you can call them at their place of employment, then are they not robbing their employer of his time that he's paying them? Time should be done at City Hall. You can't call them at City Hall because they're not committing 32 hours required to be available. So you see, both employers are being cheated. The private employer and the taxpayer employer. Us. Now let's look at the other side of the equation. They suggest you call them at home. You say, good idea, but not so fast. You make your call to their home, and begin to ask questions and so on, this puts them, just like the council meetings, in control. Depending on the content of requests, questions, etc., they're still in control. If the call is to their dislike, they can make any excuse to terminate the call or just hang up. It's your word against theirs as to what's been discussed, as opposed to an open meeting. Of course, you could do the same and hang up on them. But there are no witnesses as to what was said by either party. It's safe ground. There's no one else around to hear what was discussed, such as you would hear in a public forum. At the last council meeting, when I proposed one night a week that members of council meet at City Hall and be available to questions by citizens.
Mr. Walsh, a few more seconds, okay? Please finish. Thank you, sir.
Of the city, when Chairman Barrett shot the question down and announced calling them at work or home. Again, phone tag. This way they are not inconvenienced and no witnesses.
15
Totally
seconds.
quite safe. 10 seconds more.
Go ahead.
I challenge you, the members of this council at this meeting, to present and pass a resolution calling for members of our council to meet at City Hall bi-monthly, one night in an open forum available to their employers, we the taxpayer. The opportunity to discuss the issues pertinent to the betterment of our city. Passing this resolution would aid in earning your $350 weekly salary.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.